Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville YouTube channel. For this video, we're going to set up and test out this JobSmart blast cabinet. Now this one is sold by Tractor Supply, and I bought it on clearance for $65. It's normally $120. Some stores have it all the way down to $40, so if you have a Tractor Supply in your area, it is worth checking out. But it's just, everyone sells this thing. It's just pigs with different shades of lipstick on them. So Harbor Freight, Northern Tool, everybody has a blast cabinet like this that's going to function more or less the same way. So the cabinet itself, you got the door on top with these little handles that feel like they will break soon. It has these little tear strips on the inside of the door so you can pull it off when it gets all messed up. And they give you a couple of replacements. It does come with an LED light there. I guess I shouldn't call it LED, maybe it's fluorescent, I don't know. There's a light there, and the light switch here. On the side you have a filter with a little cover that goes over it, a little foamy, and that is where you can hook up your vacuum. There's a little port back here that I guess is an inlet since you're putting a vacuum on the other side, and that comes with another little foamy guy. It goes something like that. It also does come with the gun, and the grate goes down here, which we'll get to in a second. We have some of the world's cheapest gloves, but hopefully they last a while. There's the grate that goes in the bottom. Here's the gun. It has a little ceramic nozzle, and it comes with 4 other ones that are different diameters. But you got your sand or whatever supply is the fat hose, your air supply is the skinny. Now mine looks different than what I've seen other people have. So here's my media pickup. You see this nut on the bottom with a washer and all these holes in this nut, and that goes to this bottom hole here. And most people have a bar that their hose connects to, and it sucks up from the bar. So this is actually nicer because you're actually getting to the very bottom of the media. And then over here is where your air line comes in, and that's your skinny hose. And you can see you got 2 washers in the fitting there, so you just unthread that, bam, slip it through there and hook up your air hose. There's your ceramic nozzles it comes with. You get a little bit of Teflon tape, the power supply for the LED, for the light, whatever it is. And I'm thinking we're going to need to add more light, but you do have these here. If you had something magnetic, put something magnetic maybe up here and aim it downward. Well, let's start setting it up. Hooking up the port for the airline. It's a 9/16 on the inside and 3/4 on the outside. By the way, that's a generic Milwaukee M12 battery. People have been asking me how those have worked out. I haven't put a genuine Milwaukee battery on anything in over a month. I've only been using these generic ones, and so far so good. Anyway, you probably don't need an impact for this, but meh. Bottom one's kind of a pain because this thing is basically sitting on the ground. So pro tip, tilt it back, make use of the gloves, hold it in place. Not sure what size it is yet, we're working on it. It's 15/16. Got the light plugged in. Just has a little spot for the power adapter there and whatever, but boy, that light's trash. You can tell that right away. Thankfully, it should be pretty easy to find something better than just run it through this hole, but that's no good. We got that hooked up. The grate doesn't really sit all the way down. At first I thought it was sitting on the hose, but it's not. It's the little bracket there that keeps it up just a little bit. Probably not a big deal, but could bend him in a little so it sat farther down. I kind of like the caulking job going on here, just kind of sloppily, no pride in our work job done, but that's okay. Probably union workers. And the hose is kind of short, definitely made for someone right-handed. I'm left-handed, so that's about the story of how everything goes for a left-handed person. This cutout, I'm assuming, has to go to the right side. Let's see if we can hook a vacuum up to that or not. Of course, my DeWalt isn't going to hook up to it. I 3D printed this adapter to take the sander to the DeWalt 20 volt orbital sander. Doesn't actually fit. It might work good enough for our purposes today, but I'm thinking is 3D print something with a flange, use these three screws, and then the same fitting I'm using here, we'll hold it on there, and I'm sure that'll work, but we'll just have to work on that another day. So let's hook up the airline. Now the cabinet doesn't come with the male end for the air hose, so you do gotta supply that yourself. Alright, I poured some stuff in there. I did a little test run, which is pretty good, but I'll show you guys. I'm using black diamond, it's coal. It was the cheapest stuff at Tractor Supply, and I thought for the first try, make sure you use something cheap, don't want to waste it on something expensive. It was 10 bucks for a 50-pound bag, and this is the fine one. I heard some complaints that theirs were getting clogged up. Also, if I didn't mention, my compressor is a 25-gallon, 5 horsepower, oilless compressor. And you run it, it says somewhere between 40 and 90 psi. I'm at like 70 or 80, I think. Playing around with that C-Track, I'm learning a few things. One, I probably need to put more media in this thing, because see how it's all just caving in around where it sucks it and it's not all like falling back into it. Okay, so maybe I need some more. My problem is I'm worried it's going to rain and I'd have to move this back inside because this is just a temporary setup for the video. So I don't want to put a whole 50-pound bag in the damn thing, then I got to carry it around. So anyway, that's going on. Then if you can hear the hiss, we're leaking air somewhere, and that's definitely their connection. So don't trust their connection to not leak air. The thing is pretty sealed up. Like, even if I watch, we close these things, close this thing. Now watch the glare. Anyway, try and look at a glove when I turn on the vacuum. So we're definitely sealed up enough that we're pulling a vacuum, creating a little vacuum chamber in there. Now I'm going to try this seat. Problem is, I don't even know if it's going to fit, and if it does fit, can I move it around in there at all? Well, it just barely fits end to end. See if I can get you guys an angle that actually shows something. I gotta break my wrist over here to do it, but let's see. See how quickly he cleared off that spot. We don't got any room to move in here. actually works pretty good. Compressor's running a ton, but I haven't gotten to a point where I have to stop because the compressor's not keeping up. Man, I wish it was just a little bit bigger so this thing could move around. I definitely get why people add little vibration motors to this thing so the damn media keeps going to the bottom. Because that was my problem I had stopping in there, is it was just sucking air. Well, this seat's just too big. You can't move it around in there, but I mean, it worked where you could reach. Just, you can't move it around, so. I'm going to try the bolts, though. I put them in this magnetic tray. I'm hoping that holds them in place. We'll see what happens. Put it in the magnetic tray, didn't work out too bad. Use the tie wrap that came with it to tie wrap the other tips right to the air inlet. Now that might have been my best idea of the day. This is the bracket that holds the seat adjuster. So I thought we'd sandblast it and then repaint it. It's not in awful shape, but while it's apart, why not? I've got the vacuum hooked up, so we'll just see how well this works. I don't know if you can hear the air compressor just kicked on, but we got to do that much before that 25 gallon had to turn on. At one point you guys probably had a better view than I did. I couldn't see what I was doing, but that was pretty quick. Pretty clean. So this is part of the chair back on the Corvette. It's how you bring the seat forward if you need to get into the back compartment. It's not a part anyone will ever see, but I'd like to get it cleaned up and painted. Now, it's another thing, you know, it's just not big enough to fit in there, so I don't know if we'll be able to maneuver it around at all or what, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, that's what it looks like mostly worried about this heavy rust area up top and on the back there. I don't know how good your guys' view is, but this is what I'm trying to look through. And boy, it's hard to see anything that you're doing. Here's that little vacuum adapter I mentioned I wanted to 3D print for the DeWalt cordless vacuum, which has the world's tiniest hose. It's absolutely dreadful. But anyway, now it gives it a nice tight fit, and we should get some good suction on that thing. On the inside, there's just like a little flange that goes around it, the filter. You just tighten it down, so that'll work good. I think we've done enough playing around with it for this video. We'll do some updates if I have to upgrade anything or make any changes. But so far I'm pretty happy with it, especially for what I paid for it. It was really cheap, and it'll be useful. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give the video likes. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'll see you guys next time.